Keith Urban's amazing story. One night in Greenville, something surprising happened. Keith Urban was singing on stage in front of thousands of fans. Suddenly, he put down his guitar and stopped singing. Everyone was confused. Why did he stop? Keith walked off the stage while people clapped and worried. Later, everyone found out he was sick. He had a throat problem and couldn't sing anymore that night. Let me tell you Keith's whole story. The Big Tour. In 2025, Keith went on a huge tour called High and Alive World Tour. He did more than 30 shows in America and Canada. The stage looked like a giant guitar with bright lights all around. Keith sang over 25 songs at each show, including favorites like Blue Ain't Your Color and Somebody Like You. Keith was special because he was nice to his fans. He would walk into the crowd, shake hands, and give away guitar picks. He even let fans sing with him. Every concert felt like a big party with friends. When Keith got sick. On October 16, 2025, Keith was singing in Greenville when his voice suddenly stopped working. He had to leave the stage. The doctor said he had a bad throat infection and needed to rest for 48 hours without talking at all. Keith posted a picture online with his guitar and said sorry to his fans. He promised to come back soon. Thousands of people sent him nice messages. Everyone understood that even famous singers need rest sometimes. 2 weeks later, Keith came back to sing in Nashville. He looked happy and healthy. He thanked everyone for understanding. The crowd gave him a big standing ovation. Big changes in his life. In September 2025, Keith and his wife, Nicole Kidman, decided to get divorced after 19 years of marriage. They had been together for a long time, and many people were sad to hear this news. They both said they still respected each other. Some people thought they broke up because they were always busy. Nicole was making movies in Europe while Keith was touring. They didn't get to see each other much. After this, some people started rumors about Keith and a young guitar player named Maggie who worked with him. But Keith never talked about these rumors. He just kept doing his music. Keith's childhood. Keith was born on October 26, 1967 in New Zealand, but he grew up in Australia. His family didn't have much money. They lived in a small trailer. His dad ran a small store and his mom took care of the house. Keith's parents loved music. His dad liked Johnny Cash and his mom loved Elvis Presley. When Keith was only 4 years old, he got his first guitar. He learned to play by listening to songs on the radio. When Keith was 7, he played at a local fair and won a small prize. That's when he knew he wanted to be a musician. Following his dream. At 15 years old, Keith left school to focus on music. His parents were worried but supported him. He started playing in bars and small places around Australia. Sometimes he didn't make much money. Sometimes he had to sleep in his truck because he couldn't afford a hotel. In 1992, when Keith was 25, he moved to Nashville, America. Nashville is where country music is most popular. Keith only had an old guitar and a little bit of money. Life was hard. He worked different jobs like bartending and teaching guitar. At night, he played music wherever he could. Keith felt lonely and sad sometimes, but he never gave up. He kept practicing and playing. Slowly, people started noticing his talent. Becoming famous. In the late 1990s, Keith released his first album. Songs like "But for the Grace of God" became popular. In 2002, he released an album called Golden Road. One song called "Somebody Like You" stayed at #1 for 8 weeks. From 2004 to 2010, Keith made more great albums. Songs like "You'll Think of Me" and "Days Go By" were huge hits. Keith won 4 Grammy Awards and many other prizes. In 2005 and 2018, he won Entertainer of the Year, which is a very big honor. Keith was special because he mixed old country music with new modern sounds. This made young people interested in country music too. From 2012 to 2015, Keith was a judge on the TV show American Idol. He was nice and helpful to all the singers. People loved watching him because he was kind and gave good advice. Hard times and getting better. Even though Keith became famous, he had problems. In the early 2000s, he started drinking too much alcohol and using drugs. The stress of being famous made him sad and lost. In 2006, right after he married Nicole, Keith went to a special place to get help. He stopped drinking and using drugs. For over 20 years now, he has stayed healthy. He exercises, eats well, and meditates every day. Being a dad. Keith and Nicole have 2 daughters named Sunday and Faith. Keith loves being a dad. No matter how busy he is, he makes time for his daughters. He goes to their school plays and birthdays. Sometimes he flies thousands of miles just to take them to school. Keith and Nicole never post pictures of their daughters online. They want to protect their privacy and let them have normal lives. Helping others. Keith loves helping people. He started a program called All for the Hall that helps kids learn music. So far, it has raised over $20 million. This money buys instruments and music lessons for kids who can't afford them. Keith visits schools and teaches kids how to play guitar. He also helps when natural disasters happen. When Tennessee had big storms, Keith gave $100,000 and helped cook food for people who lost their homes. He also visits sick children in hospitals. He plays guitar for them and brings them small gifts. He does these things because he cares, not to get attention. Keith's hobbies. When Keith isn't making music, he likes taking pictures, especially behind-the-scenes photos during his tour. He also loves old cars and fixes them up. He enjoys cooking, especially food from Australia like meat pies and barbecue. What we learn from Keith. Keith Urban's story teaches us important lessons. Never give up on your dreams, even when things are hard. It's okay to ask for help when you're struggling. Being kind to others is just as important as being talented. Family and health matter more than fame. Hard work and practice can make your dreams come true. Keith went from being a poor boy in Australia with an old guitar to becoming one of the most famous country singers in the world. He faced many problems, being poor, addiction, divorce, and sickness, but he never gave up. Today, at 57 years old, Keith still loves making music. He doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. He just does what he loves, playing guitar, writing songs, and living honestly. Subscribe to hear more inspiring stories about people who never gave up, just like Keith Urban.